Participle is one of those words that might make you run and hide. No need to do that. A participle is just a form of a verb that functions as an adjective. It has a fairly regular form as well. In the present tense, a participle always ends in ing. In the past tense, it almost always ends in ed, although there are a few irregular endings. And you can use the adjective questions to prove a participle is what it seems to be. It's that simple. Let's look at an example. The dribbling guard got fouled as he drove to the basket. Let's start by looking for an ing or an ed word. We've got fouled here, but that's part of the verb phrase. And we've got dribbling. There it is, right in front of a noun, where we'd expect to find an adjective. Which guard? The dribbling guard. Because participles are just adjectives, they don't have to be in the sentence in order for it to make sense. The guard got fouled as he drove to the basket. They're there to add additional meaning. Let's look at another example. There is no sense in crying over spilled milk. Spilled is a past participle and seems to modify milk because it's right in front of it. Which milk? The spilled milk. Pretty easy. Participles can also be part of phrases called participial phrases, which also function as adjectives. How do we find them? First, start by finding the participle. Then you can usually tell which words belong to that participle. Let's look at some examples. Playing harmonica, Joe felt ready to perform in front of a big crowd. The participial phrase is playing harmonica. We know it stops there because Joe is the subject of the sentence. Which Joe? The one playing harmonica. Here's another one. A boy named Rupert got stuck in a cave. Named is my participle here. Named Rupert is the participial phrase. How do I know? The next word is part of the verb phrase and therefore can't be part of the participial phrase. But let's test it anyway. Which boy? A boy named Rupert. Shocked at the size of the fish, the man dropped his pole into the water. This one's a little trickier to find, but not much. You've probably noticed two words that end with ed in this sentence. Which one's the verb and which one is the participle? Find the subject and ask yourself what the subject did. The subject is man, and he dropped. Therefore, dropped is my verb. The other one is most likely a participle. Notice that it is followed by two prepositional phrases, at the size and of the fish. Remember that prepositional phrases function either as adjectives or adverbs. Remember also that participles and participial phrases are always adjectives. So the prepositional phrase at the size modifies shocked and is therefore an adverb phrase. Shocked to what extent? At the size. And the prepositional phrase of the fish is an adjective phrase modifying size. Which size? The size of the fish. I know this sounds complicated, but you really don't have to go to all that trouble to figure it out. Finding participial phrases is usually accomplished by making a logical guess at the words that seem to relate to the participle. When we relax a bit, we can clearly see that shocked at the size of the fish is the whole phrase that modifies man. Which man? The one shocked at the size of the fish. Let's look at one final example. Many players having minor league experience aren't ready for the majors. Having minor league experience is my participial phrase, with having as my participle. The ing gave it away. Remember that adjectives are always right next to the words they modify. Therefore, the phrase must modify players. Which players? The ones having minor league experience.